Okay, the basic mechanics of this, as we're approaching it here as a fishtail, it's very, very similar to tapering. So as we come down, striking on the end with an angle to the hammer, like this, you're going to get the spread and also the taper. As I work this, I can fan through if it's a wide piece, and then move back to the shoulder, fan through again, fan through again. This is kind of my rough forging. Once I've got the rough forging in, I can then run lines down the piece, so left side, right side, and down through the center, or if it's extra wide, you do multiple lines, trying to keep the material balanced as you go. If you find that it is progressing in one direction more than the other, stop whacking on that side, work the other side a little bit more. So, lines will be down the left side, see how that pushes forward, down the right side, pushes forward evenly through the center. And that way I'm keeping a good mechanical form to my spreading.
Let me see the side.
There we go. We have a taper coming in from width of shoulder down to here. You'll also start noticing that if you have unevenness in your spread, so say this line has a scallop in it, kind of like that, okay? What you'll notice that this here, if you turn it sideways, is massive material. If you compress that mass of material to make an even taper or an even thickness, it will push that material outwards. Okay? So that's the basic principle of it. We are just doing this with a straight down hammer blow using the face of the hammer, allowing that round face to create a 360-degree spreading. Okay. We do it in steel. Find my position, right on the tip. First couple of hammer blows are dead center, then fan to the left, across to the right. And you'll see that I've got slightly more progression here on this right corner, slightly less on the left corner. That is something that I need to keep an eye on as I work through. Maybe if I look there, the thickness is slightly different. I can't tell quite from my angle. Yeah, there's a little bit more mass on the left-hand side than there is on the right-hand side. So, as I creep back, find my silver pencil here. As I creep back, my shoulder is right here. I'm going to creep back to about here. As I do so, elongating that taper, I'm going to try and make sure that I keep these corners balanced. Okay. As I come down with my hammer blow, I've got my bar stop right at the beginning. What we're using for now is quarter by 1 inch. As I come down, my first hammer blows are landing about here, center of the face. It's not completely off the end. So that way I'm getting quite a lot of forward push. If I land it right on the end, I'm probably going to get more lateral push. But about there, that 3/4 position, I'm going to get a little bit of forward push and lateral push as well. I'll then drop a couple of hammer blows there, drop a couple of hammer blows to the left side, then to the right side, or fan across. And that should create that taper and the narrowing of the material in that plane. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Right, so creep back on that line, move my hammer back a little bit, dropping in the center, to the left, down to the corner, to the right, down to the corner, center. If I find that I have a scallop in that front line, that is because I haven't pushed the center out enough. Run down the left side, run down the right side. Okay, that's good roughing. There's my taper coming in quite nicely. It should be relatively similar on the other side, which it is. And my form is fairly symmetrical. It's not perfect, but it's fairly symmetrical. You'll notice here there's a little bit of a swelling on this left side here. That is actually a hammer blow. There's a little scallop there, and you can see it in this plane. There's a little tiny scallop in that line. So with a little bit of blending through, I can actually make this a little more even. Same with down here, there's a little scallop there, which gives me a thickness point. Okay. So that was a good first pass at it. I'm now going to take a low temperature heat, do a hammer finishing, which would just be a series of lines, center line, left line, right line. I might even put 5 lines through it. So center, left, mid-left, right, mid-right. Also, a little thing to think about, if you always do this in exactly the same order, so center, left, right, center, left, right, because theoretically you're getting more pliable material as you run down that left-hand side because it is hotter because of the natural cooling of the steel, and you kept repeating this process over and over again, doing the same amount of hammer blows down each side, that left side, being the warmer of the two sides, the left and right side, will actually progress faster or with less effort than the right hand side. So you might want to go center, right, left, next heat, center, left, right. Just trying to keep that balance. It's less obvious on a material section like this, but far more noticeable on thicker section material.
If you were working thicker section, wouldn't you just want to flip and do the other side, maybe?
Possibly. Could do. It depends on whether you want to keep it particularly flat to one side or whether you want it to be centered. Now, we're doing these all fishtail flat to the anvil. I could actually lift up the material if it's a little thicker and it warrants working both sides. Okay, so center line, nice and light. You can see that center pop out. Right hand side, all the way to the corner, moving my material close to the edge of the anvil so that I can get to the 0 point. Left hand side, all the way. Also, if you want to bring that corner out more, you can rock it a little bit so that as you come out, you kind of feather into that corner. You'll notice, probably as I do more videos, you'll notice that I am not absolutely beholden to being dead behind the anvil. That was kind of how I was taught, but over the years I found that anything from here to here, even to here, and sometimes even like this, are all very, very applicable. So find what works for you mechanically for what you're trying to do at that time.
I was zoomed into the material when you were just doing that. Can you show us your body position when you were doing that rocking?
On the tip?
Yeah.
I was more like this.
Ah.
So what I'd done, I'd pulled the edge of the material out so that I could bring it into that corner.
Okay.
It's kind of like beveling a knife. If you're running bevel on a knife, running into the tip of that material, you know, when you're hammering out here on that tip, you want to roll that material. If you just stay like this, you're not going to be able to get that all the way down to the end. So it's kind of similar principles. It's just moving the material, understanding how to move the material. All right, a little bit of spot work. I'm just going to eyeball through this. There's a little unevenness here in my flare and here. These are probably at this point problems that are fairly easy to fix at low temperature. And they're just aesthetics, or mechanics trying to get that aesthetic form correct, but it always relates to your material mass. We're never removing mass, we're just shifting it from one place to the other. So that gets into the conversation of kind of the material, the volumetrics and application of it, and how you can get that to behave. But there you go, that's your basic principles of the mechanics there. Okay. And there's the side view. All right.